Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime. Now, I was very hesitant in picking up this figure, mostly because I don't have $40 to throw down on a Transformer figure, but also because I already have Movie Prime from the original line, and that figure was fantastic. So how could you possibly improve on something that was already great? Well, we're going to have to see in this review. A little information about Movie Prime. Like with most Transformers, Movie Prime is similar to his G1 counterpart, but there are a few minor differences here and there. First off, Movie Prime is a little bit more of a battle-ready Prime than Generation 1 is. Generation 1 Prime would kind of sit there and wait for the Decepticons to attack and just kind of chill out, where Movie Prime would take the battle to the Decepticons. In addition to that, Movie Prime is a little bit more sympathetic to the war. Generation 1 Prime sees it as a war against good versus evil, where Movie Prime sees it as a terrible conflict that's happened between a race. But that's really the only difference. Other than that, it's pretty much standard Generation 1 Prime-ish-like feel to him. Now, as you can see here, he is in his alternate mode that he was in his first movie appearance, the Mack truck. And it looks very similar to the original figure. Now, one of the complaints I have about this alt mode, and the only complaint, is that it can stuff comes undone and falls out. This figure really needs a lot of effort and a lot of force for every panel to stay in pace. It looks very similar to the original toy figure, but there are a few differences here and there. I think this has a little bit more detail to it, but the structure is a little bit looser. But besides that, the alt mode is absolutely beautiful. As with most of the Revenge of the Fallen figures and most of the movie figures, the alt modes are beautiful. So with that said, let's get into the transformation. Now I'm going to tell you now, before I even get into the transformation, bringing him from robot to truck mode is a bitch. It is incredibly annoying. And I thought when I was doing it for like the third time, it's like, okay, I've done it a few times now, I should be able to get it down flat. Oh, it is annoying. Going from truck to robot is okay, but going back to the alt mode, annoying. So, in addition to that, stuff might take a little force in popping out. So, just in case, I brought along Mr. Pointy, all of our favorite knives. So, you can start at this at many different ways. I'll start things off by separating this area here. Just loosen everything up, because this section is really what holds it all together. Just loosen all this stuff up here. There, just bring it up here. Get all that stuff out of the way. We don't need all that clutter. Second thing I would like to do is open up this side panel here and lift it up. So you open it up and you lift it up. You kind of just get that out of the way for now. Just in case before I forget, just take these nozzles and clip them over here, get them out of the way. Because these are easy to forget about. Easy to forget about. There you go. Okay, now I guess the next thing you would want to do in this, if you can see this, is release the arm section. You take these panels and you kind of just move them out of the way like so. And you do it on this section too. Just release that and move them out of the way like so. This frees up this section right here, the cab area. And let me tell you, this is the most annoying section in the whole figure. Get the arms out of the way, and see, that's an example. Something popped out. This thing popped out, so we just put it back in there. The transformation is quite complex, and it can be annoying at times, but you have to appreciate this transformation because it's a little bit more in depth than the last Prime figure. Okay, there we go. And release that. So you got the arms out of the way. Take the head. Yes, we know you're Optimus Prime. Okay? Take the head and move it up here and kind of get it into position. And then you take this section and you slide it in there. Let me just get it in. Yes, we know you're Optimus Prime. Okay. This is probably the one section of the figure that's the most annoying because you feel like you're going to pop out this section. You feel like you're going to break it. Putting it back in is a bit of a hassle also. Just got to be... There we go. So you pop that section back in there, and you just kind of bring it up get this out of the way for a sec. Bring this up and lock it into place. Make sure all the panels are out, because if they're not, it's not going to lock into place. There we go. Bring the arms around. Just bring them around, and they're going to slide up. So you're going to have to coordinate it the right way, like so, and adjust everything so it looks right. Because, there we go, and bring that fuselage up there. So it was down there, and you bring it in up here, and just, there you go. Bring the arms around like that. Do the same thing on this side. Here, I should probably show you, because my hand was probably in the way, wasn't it? Yes, we know you're Optimus Prime. That's going to be the bane of your existence. When you transform him for the first time and you don't know what you're doing, he says that more times than go. It is annoying as hell. Great voice, great feature on the figure. It's just as annoying as hell. Bring the panels around and bring this section up there and just make it look all fancy. So we kind of have most of the top part done. Most of the top part. Let's get the legs out of the way before we get into anything else, because we still have this back section here. Bring this up here, and bring this up here. And those lock into place. Next thing is you want to separate these sections right here on the legs. Boom. Bring the feet and connect it here, and then connect it here. And those are the feet. They just kind of all fold into each other. If they want to stick there. Sometimes they're prima donna. Get in there. Get in there. Bloody hell. I wonder why it's not sticking. Never had this problem before. There we go. It is now in. It is now in. I miss transforming leader class figures on camera. Oh. You never know when you're going to screw things up and totally ruin the video. Take the legs and kind of just fold the pelvic. Oh, he just made the transformation sound. Let's see if we can do that again. Yep, he makes the classic transformation sound when you put him in. There we go. And just adjust the legs. And he kind of looks done, but he's not. Take these back sections and bring them around. And you want to push the section out, lift it up, and bring it all the way around. And you want to lock it into its little nook. It has a little nook there. See if we can get this nook out. Come on, work with me. Work with me. Work with me. I am not your enemy. I am your owner. I bought you. You, by all means, are mine. Don't you just love it when figures don't work with you? God. I went to Toys R Us to get this figure. I didn't actually buy it. My friend bought it for me. I'm paying him back over the time. But they have a huge, huge Transformer setup there. So, the Revenge of the Fallen figures are there if you want to get them. I recommend checking out your local Toys R Us. And see, right now in the waves, there's Prime, Megatron, some jet, a deluxe jet, Bumblebee, let's see, who else? Sideswipe, Sideways, we have Voyager Prime, Leader Megatron, Voyager Starscream, Voyager Ironhide, Voyager, one of the Voyager Constructicons. Yeah, a few other figures, but it's just the first wave right now. Lastly, as you take this section, you kind of break it up. You can either keep it like that, or you can bring it around and fold it up like that. It's up to you what you want to do. I'm not quite sure what I like better. I think I'm just going to keep it in like that. And he's all fully transformed in his robot mode. And as you can see, the sword does not want to stay in there. He has two swords, which you can just press a button on the side and they come out. There we go. Because you see in the trailers, he does have those two swords whipping around. And let's just take a look at this figure. My God, this figure is beautiful. They did improve on the original. It looks more like Movie Prime. It just fits so well. It's an absolute beautiful figure. Let's get everything into place. Just take a look at that beast. And you gotta admit, the two swords look badass. An improvement on the premium sword that was given to Premium Prime. An absolute beautiful figure, beautiful. Probably my favorite movie figure thus far. It is great. So, I think I will do what everyone wants a reviewer to do. We're going to compare this to the original movie Prime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video right here, and I'm just going to set up movie Prime and Revenge of the Fallen Prime, and we're going to take a look at that. But right before we get into that, let's just hit articulation real quick. The articulation is fantastic. You can get all the standard poses you would expect to get from a movie figure. It has all, if not a little bit more articulation than the original movie Prime, with the exception of the hands. You can't open the hands up. But besides that, he has great articulation. So with that said, I'm going to pause the review right now, and I'm just going to set up movie Prime and Revenge of the Fallen Prime. We're going to take a look at which one is better in what areas. And then we'll go back to my final take in this position, okay? So be right back. Okay, here's the two primes up next to each other. And without a doubt, Revenge of the Fallen Prime is a lot more movie accurate. First of all, his legs are more compact and slender, and the wheels are positioned better and more accurately on the side, hip region, rather than in the back of the legs. The arms are just better detailed, you can tell, because these panels in the movie were there, the fuselage was there, and it just looks a little bit more movie accurate there. The chest region right here is obviously more movie accurate, less boxy looking, and the back section right here, the panels are angled. Now this figure is a by far better figure, and I was surprised because movie Prime is an amazing figure. I still love this figure to death, but this figure is the better figure. However, this figure does have two things over this figure. One, it does come with a gun. And Revenge of the Fallen Prime looks beautiful with the two swords, but it would be nice if you could remove them and maybe put the gun in his hand. A new gun, a better looking gun, but it's not possible. The second thing would be the hand articulation is kind of disappointing in this figure. I expected better hand articulation, but we saw none, where each figure and digit was able to be moved in the original Prime. So this Prime, both of them are absolutely fantastic figures, but this Prime is a lot more movie accurate, and its robot mode is just by far better. So let's just take an overall look at both of them. Yes, this is one beautiful figure, and like I said, much more movie accurate, and I like all the nooks and crannies on him. They just put a lot of effort in improving on something that was already great. And here's the original Prime. We all seen him, we all love him. Yes, great figure. So with that said, we're going to go on to the tail of the tape, my final thoughts on this figure. Okay, on to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Well, I was very skeptical about this figure, very skeptical. The first pictures I saw, it looked a little meh to me. However, after watching a few reviews of it, and kind of getting more of an up-close feel of it, I have fallen in love with this figure. It is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the original Prime is a beautiful figure. I'm not taking anything away from it. But they took something great like the original Prime I just showed you, and just transformed it, no pun intended, into a fantastic, beautiful looking figure. Absolutely beautiful. It's not without its faults, though. The transformation is, I wouldn't want to say difficult, but frustrating. The first few times you do it, the transformation will be frustrating, and I think it will be continuously frustrating. I think this is one of the transformations where, despite how good you get at it, it will be annoying. Now, this is good and bad, because, well, good, it's fun because you get more of an in-depth, complicated transformation, and, you know, we don't want always everything to be simple. But bad in that it just gets frustrating every time you do it. I'm probably not going to transform him into his alt mode anytime soon. The articulation is great in this figure. Absolutely great, with the exception of the hands. That is a downside. I do not like how the hands do not open up. I wish to see a bit more of that. And the only other thing about this figure I could complain about is I wish he had a gun in addition to the swords. I would take the swords over the guns because the swords look great, but it would be nice to have the guns in there. So let's just do the final gradage. Alt mode, I would give a 9 out of 10. I do like the original alt mode a little bit better on the original figure. However, this alt mode is still fantastic and still beautiful. Transformation, I give a 7 out of 10. It's a complicated transformation. I like complicated transformation. It makes you work harder, and it gives a little bit more to the figure. Puts a little more depth into it. But it is an annoying transformation, so it's going to get a 7 out of 10. Articulation, a 9 out of 10. Again, fantastic articulation, just wish it was a little bit more hand articulation. And the panels can get a little bit in the way, but not that much. So, articulation is great. Just why didn't you give him the fantastic articulation in the hands that you did with the other figure? I don't know. It's not like it's dampering anything. He does have wrist articulation, but that's it. And finally, robot mode, a clear 10 out of 10. This is a fantastic robot mode, absolutely fantastic. Take another look at him. He is an absolutely beautiful, fantastic figure. So my overall grade, the final grade is going to be a 10 out of 10. This is a figure that you want to get for your collection. It would be a beautiful, beautiful centerpiece for any movie collection toy line. It is absolutely great. It is better than the original, and I was very skeptical on that. Like I said before, the original figure is very beautiful, and I doubted on whether or not you would be able to improve on it, but they did. This is a fantastic figure, and I highly recommend it to anyone out there. The faults on this is little, if any. It is just beautiful. Pick it up, and hopefully I'll get to review Movie Megatron sometime soon. If I don't actually buy it, my friend just bought it, and that looks like it's going to be a good figure. So, with that said, this figure has also got me back into Transformers full frontal, straight on. I am excited for this movie, and I think I'll pick up some of the more movie figures. Not too many, but still pick up enough. So with that said, I'm going to end the review here. Again, I can't stress this enough. Fantastic figure. Pick it up. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.